I'm gonna have my stance very narrow. I'm gonna get my hands in front. I'm gonna have the ball too far back, and I'm gonna do my best to try to hit this solid. I added 37 yards to a student's drive this week, and the results were so impressive, I had to share them with you. And the best part is, it was 3 simple things that I'm gonna share with you today. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. And I'll tell you this, there's nothing more fun as a golf coach than helping somebody take this club right here, their driver, and add distance to it, because it's what we all love. And the best part of it is a lot of times it's pretty darn simple. And today I'm gonna share with you 3 things: hand position, stance width, and ball position, and how if you get those in the right spot, you also can add 37 yards or maybe even a little bit more to your drives. And if you haven't already, hey, be sure to subscribe to our channel. This is the place for you. If you love golf and you love working on your game, US Golf TV is the place for you. And you know already, if you've been watching any of my videos, I love hearing from you. I love the comments, I love the dialogue. I cannot tell you how much I've learned from you. So please be sure to leave a comment and ring a bell so you know when we get our next videos coming out. So let's dive right into this. Now the beauty of it is I'm gonna do this a little bit different here today. If you've watched any of my videos before, I'm gonna do this more of like a test study, kind of like a case study. I've got the TrackMan out, I've got my mobile device set up right here, and we're gonna go through these 3 things with the driver, and we're gonna actually track it, and so I can show you how it really works. So then when this student came in, typical student, all right, plays once or twice a week, doesn't practice a lot, and this is what I saw, and this is probably what a lot of you are doing with their drives. Number 1 is they had their stance very narrow. Now bear in mind that with the driver, it's the longest club in your bag. It's the club that you're swinging at the highest speed. You need your stance to be a little bit wider. We're gonna talk about the specifics of that in a second. So number 1 mistake that I see is the stance is too narrow. Number 2, this is a killer with the driver, is the hands are too far in front of the ball. If you tend to hit shots on the top of the club, look at your driver. If you've got some of those sky marks, all right, those are embarrassing marks on the top of your driver right here. It very well could be because you've got your hands too far in front. And the 3rd thing that I saw the student doing, which I see all the time, is they had the ball too far back in their stance. So let me go ahead and hit a shot doing those 3 mistakes, all right, just so we can capture some data. So I'm gonna have my stance very narrow. I'm gonna get my hands in front. I'm gonna have the ball too far back, and I'm gonna do my best to try to hit this solid. All right, it was solid, but it was super low. TrackMan right here, I've got 104 miles an hour. Obviously, it only went 161 yards, okay? Not a very good shot. I did hit up on it a little bit. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know you want to hit up on the ball a little bit. I did hit up on it at 0.6, but it didn't go anywhere. So what should we be doing in the setup in those 3 components? So let's talk about that. So let's talk about what we want. First of all, let's dive into the stance. All right, with the stance, you want your stance width to be at least shoulder width apart. So as a golf coach, when I'm sitting here, I want that stance width. What I'm looking at is pretty much the inside of the heels, inside of heel, the inside of heel. I want those to be roughly about the same width as my hips or the same width as my shoulders, all right? I would say this, it's better to have your stance with your driver a little too wide than too narrow. When you're too narrow, okay, you don't have a good base to work off, your balance gets off, just not a lot of good things are gonna happen. So tip number 1 is to make sure that your stance width is at least shoulder width apart. Now let's talk a little bit about, I wanna talk about ball position next, because I think this is one of the easiest ways to change this, all right? And at the end, if you slice your driver, at the end, I do want to give you a quick tip on how to, in essence, fix that slice and help you start drawing the golf ball, but I'll do that in just a second. So ball position, we know this. We want to hit up on the golf ball slightly. So let me go ahead and hit a shot. I'm going to get my good stance width, all right? Okay, but I'm going to have the ball a little too far back in my stance. Notice it's about in the center of my stance right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit a ball, and we're going to see what type of numbers we get. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, that was a little bit on the heel, probably wasn't my best swing. Speed was down a little bit, okay. Angle of attack was about 0.4, but my spin rate went to 3,000. Even though that ball was super low, the spin rate, excuse me, went way up. And if you know anything about drivers, you wanna keep that spin rate down a little bit so you get some more roll. So let's tee up another one. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to make a little bit better swing here, but I'm going to move that ball forward slightly so that I can hit up on it a little bit. Okay, I hit that on the toe slightly. Definitely was a better shot. Okay, angle of attack on that, 3.8, so definitely more up on it. Let me check the spin. It's calculating right now. Okay, 22.65, 2,265. Brought that spin down, obviously much more distance. So when you get the ball too far back, my friends, what's gonna happen is you're gonna hit too down on it. Even though the ball goes low, the spin rate was way up, you're not gonna get it the roll that you need in terms of with the driver, all right? So let's tee up another one here. So here's what we've learned so far. We've learned a little bit about stance width. You're gonna be a little wider, shoulder width apart, right? Okay, we're gonna get that ball forward. Now exactly where should it be? I like it to be at least off the inside of the lead heel, maybe even off the lead toe. So as a golf coach right here, I want that ball to be forward. So the tip that I would give you to find that spot would be to take your setup, put your feet together like this. Put the ball right in the center, take your lead foot, for me it's my left foot, point it just slightly, take my trail foot and then get my stance width this way. Most golfers do this. They come in, maybe they put their feet together, and then they just separate equally. And now the ball is right in the center. Put your feet together, all right? Separate just a little bit, maybe an inch, 2 inches at the most, and then get all of your width with your back foot. This will get your ball in the right position, all right? And go ahead and hit it. Okay, a little bit of club twirl on that one because I hit that one nice and solid, okay? Once again, 3.8 up angle of attack. That's perfect for me because I don't have a ton of club head speed, so I got to hit up on it. Spin rate again, 22.41. That is perfect for me, all right? Now, I promised you also we're going to talk about hand position. Let's talk about that and how that can impact the numbers. And then we're going to talk about slicing. All right, so let's say we got the good stance width, shoulder width, right? We know how to do that. Boom, boom. Okay, we got the ball off the lead toe. Hand position. All right, I see this mistake a lot. They take the butt end of the club and we shove it forward. See this here? So when I get that, even though I've got good stance width, okay, even though I've got the ball in the right spot, but if I get my hands here, let me go ahead and hit a shot. Okay, low bullet. Angle of attack, 0.6, down. 0.6 down because my hands are so far forward, okay? And just no carry at all on that, all right? So where should your hands be? Tee up another one here. I must say my favorite part about doing this tip is I get to hit a lot of drivers. So I love hitting drivers myself too. So as you're set in here, you're gonna take the butt end of the club and instead of it being forward, move it back a little bit. Now maybe not all the way back to your belt buckle, but somewhere between your lead hip and your belt buckle, kind of right in there. So it's in the shaft is in a neutral position. So let me go through my process. There we go. See how I got the shaft nice and neutral? It's not in front. Separate, separate. Okay, go ahead and hit it from there. All right, let's see what we got. Speeds up a little bit because I'm getting more loosened up. 3.8 up. Club path a little bit to the right, spin rate, okay, a little higher on that one, 2,500, but still a great shot for me based on my swing. So those are a couple of three things: the stance width, the ball position, and the hand position. Now, I promised you I was going to tell you how to maybe draw your driver if you're fighting the slice. Let's go through that. Now, if you got some questions or some comments on that, hey, fire those in there. I'll do my best to answer all those questions for you because that's why we're here at US Golf TV is to help you out. And hopefully you've already subscribed, so you can make sure and do that as well. So if you're slicing your driver, all right, here's what we know. If you're slicing your driver, you're more than likely, you're probably swinging the club out to in, across, over the top. There's a lot of different words that we use for that, but it's basically out to in. So here's what you're gonna do with your driver. What I want you to do, you know the setup, we've gone through that, but I want you to take your stance and close it slightly. Yes, close it. Aim a little bit to the right if you're a right-handed golfer. Take your lead hip, bump it a little bit, and then here's the key. Here's the real secret. Take your lead arm and raise it slightly. Okay, now from this position right here, I've got my weight a little bit forward. My hip is over here. My stance is slightly closed. My lead arm is up a little bit. Now from this position, I can hit it from the inside right here. Let me go ahead and hit one. There's my setup. Oh yeah. I'm gonna see that kick that path. Yep, that kicked my path. My in to out, that was 5 degrees in to out. I hit up on it even more, 4.6. Even though my club head speed was the same, that golf ball traveled significantly further. Believe it or not, my spin rate was down just a little bit too. So next time you head to the golf course, here's what you're gonna do. Grab your driver, get set up there, put your feet together. Butt into the club kind of at the belt buckle or a little bit in front. Separate, separate, shoulder width, close the hip, raise the arm a little bit, swing up on it, and if you do those couple things, you probably will add more than 37 yards to your drives, and more importantly, you're gonna start enjoying this game a little bit more.